everybody. This is Sean Munjan with the Joshua Generation Ministries. I just wanted to talk real quickly about which one comes first. You know, there's always been this thing about which one comes first, the chicken or the egg. Well, let's flip it a little bit and look at it in terms of ministry. Which one comes first, the church or the family? A lot of people believe that the family should come first because, it's true. Without the family, the whole composition of the church, there really is none. There's a lack there. Families make up the church. People make up the church, the body. So in a sense, we would actually say, the family should come first, and then the church. Because just like there's ministry in the church, there's a ministry to each member of the family, as far as like whether or not there's a spouse and children involved in things like that. Even other members of the family, extended members of the family, or of the extended family, and in that sense, yes, the family is a ministry, and yes, there are components to the family ministry, just like there are components to the ministry at the local congregation. However, let's look at it from a different perspective. Let's look at it from Jesus's perspective. When Jesus was in the act of ministry, and someone came to him and said to him, your mother and your brothers and your sisters are here, and he says, who are my mother and my brothers? And he looked and he pointed to the people that he was ministering to. He says, behold, my mother and my brothers. He kind of set the precedent for the order in which things should be prioritized. It wasn't so much as he was saying that the church was more important than the family. It's not what he was saying. What Jesus in essence was saying was that his purpose, his overall purpose, superseded his ministry to the local congregation and the ministry to the family. His purpose was to make it to Calvary, redeem mankind, humankind, and ascend to the Father. That was his purpose. So when we look at it from the perspective of purpose, what takes precedence? Is it the family or is it the local congregation? If God has called us into a ministry of hospitality, okay, yes, we need to do whatever it is we need to do. Now, this is not, in terms of hospitality or in terms of giving or in terms of teaching and pastoring or evangelizing, whichever spiritual gift you've been graced with, that's a very important aspect of who you are as an individual. However, in light of eternity, the overall factor that takes precedence in our lives, which we should look at in terms of which comes first and which should be our first priority, we should look at the kingdom. The kingdom is our first priority in everything we do. The kingdom, when we put that at the forefront of our minds, it will help us, it will teach us, it will guide us, it will show us how to not put everybody in a certain box, but it will show us how we are to approach ministering to the local congregation. It will show us how to approach ministering to our family. It will show us how to approach ministering in the marketplace and things like that, of that nature. When we put the kingdom at the forefront of our minds and we follow after the kingdom agenda and not our own agenda and not the agenda that someone else has set for us, we will then be able to say like Jesus, behold, my mother and my brothers. This is my family. This is who I need to be focused on right now at this point. But then you look down further, as Jesus was going to the cross, he committed his mother to the care of one of his disciples. So he didn't altogether just neglect his family and leave them unattended or leave them uncared for, everything took its rightful place. Why? Because he submitted to the will of the Father, and submitting to the will of the Father is submitting to the kingdom agenda, looking at life and looking at things that we've been graced with from a kingdom perspective. No man, having put his hand to the plow and looking back, is fit for the kingdom of God. You cannot fully serve God wholeheartedly if we're hanging on to different little aspects of life, if we're placing such a great emphasis upon our family, if we're placing such a great emphasis upon our finances and our businesses and our different little ventures, if we're placing such a greater influence or emphasis rather upon these things above placing the emphasis on the kingdom agenda, then things are not going to align the way that we need them to. Things are not going to flow as we need them to, as fluidly as we need them to. But once we put everything in its proper perspective, God first, kingdom agenda, everything else will fall into its respective places. So, to answer the question, who comes first or which comes first, the church or the family, I would say neither one. The kingdom comes first. Keep that in mind. My name is Sean Mungin, Joshua Generation Ministries. I'll talk to you.